As far as the trial itself, it was very unfair. We weren't allowed to use our election expert under any circumstances. You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man, who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil, he looks. So nice and soft people say, oh, he seems like such a nice man. No, unless you saw him in action, and you saw that with a certain witness that went through hell. Donald Trump was visibly shaken. He looked unwell. He was quite literally unraveling before our eyes. As some MeidasTouch network contributors noted, perhaps not fast enough, he was also rambling in this press conference that he decided to give following his conviction on 34 separate felony counts. He gave this press conference on Friday, where she just very weakly tried to explain why he didn't testify. He also attacked witnesses in violation of the gag order. Undoubtedly, this is going to be utilized by the prosecution in their sentencing memo, requesting that Donald Trump be put in prison for a significant period of time when sentencing takes place on July 11. Let me share with you some other moments from this press conference that Donald Trump gave moments ago. It was a total and utter disaster. You saw that. First clip where Donald Trump says that his witnesses were quite literally crucified. I mean, you only called one witness, Robert Costello, the MAGA lawyer who just almost literally collapsed on the stand. What a horrible witness he was. And then Donald Trump talks about how he wanted to testify, but why he didn't testify, because Donald Trump says, well, look, if I would have said the sun was out and the sun wasn't out, I could be sued for perjury. Just listen to him kind of whine and take a look at how weak he looks. Play this clip. I would have testified. I wanted to testify. The theory is, you never testify, because as soon as you testify anybody, if it were George Washington, don't testify, because they'll get you on something that you said slightly wrong, and then they sue you for perjury. But I didn't care about that. I wanted to, but the judge allowed them to go into everything that I was ever involved in, not this case, everything that I was ever involved in, which is a first. In other words, you could go into every le thing that I ever did. Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bow? There, my lord, he said, what do you need to go through? And all you wanted to do is testify simply on this case, because I would have loved to have testified to this day. I would have liked to have testified, but you would have said something out of whack, like it was a beautiful sunny day, and it was actually raining out. And I very much appreciate the big crowd of people outside. That's incredible what's happening. Then Donald Trump TR denies that anything at all happened with Stormy Daniels and says the prosecution was trying to use all of this salacious stuff. And by the way, none of the salacious stuff ever happened here. Play this clip. Other people weren't able to testify, but with these people, they were able to use people salacious, by the way, and nothing ever happened. There was no anything, nothing ever happened to. Then Donald Trump violates the gag order and starts attacking Michael Cohen. I wonder if the prosecution's going to bring this to the court's attention even before the sentencing memo is submitted. And Donald Trump's sentencing takes place on July 11. The watch Donald Trump attack Michael Cohen here. Play this clip again. If I wrote down and paid a lawyer and buy the way this was a highly qualified lawyer, now I'm not allowed to use his name because of the gag order. But you know, he's a SLA bag. Everybody knows that. Took me a while to find out. But he was effective. He did work, but he wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. You know, they like to use the word fixer. He was. And a fixer. He was a lawyer at the time. He was a fully accredited lawyer. Also where Donald Trump is speaking. It's very strange. You may notice that like the podium is so tiny and this like mic is so big. It's just a very strange SE scene right there. Then Donald Trump whines about Allen Weisselberg going to jail. By the way, Allen Weisselberg, Donald Trump's former CFO, pled guilty. Not once, but twice. First, Allen Weisselberg pled guilty to tax fraud. Second, Allen Weisselberg pled guilty to engaging in perjury. And when you plead guilty and the judge accepts a guilty plea, the judge asks a series of questions to somebody like Allen Weisselberg. Is this voluntarily done by you? Are you being coerced to do this? No, this is Weisselberg B's decision to plead guilty here. Play this clip. They didn't want him to testify. That's why he went to jail. They put him in jail twice. He's 77 years old now. Normally, I'd say that's an old guy, but I don't feel 77. Nobody ever says that about me. I'd like them to say, gee, we have to have